What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, and we've been talking about numbers this week. So if you haven't seen the other ones, day one I talked about that magic number, doing 300 estimates, and how difficult it would be to basically miss success and profitability if you hit that number. Day two, I talked a bit about margin and being able to figure out your sales. Day three, I talked about the things that can impact that margin, your profit margin. When I say margin, and today I'm going to talk about a concept that I call secondary data. I don't know what it's if it's got a real term, but that's just my own head. What to me secondary data is it's the data, the numbers, the stats that are one layer beneath but drive the primary data. So for example, when you think about sales, that's a primary number. Everyone wants to hit their sales goal. That's a primary number, but underneath that there's a whole bunch of things that go into sales and create the sales for you. I think about profit even. You think about the profit. That's like the primary data, but there's a lot of different things that can impact that or are driving or are the engine for that profit. So it's something that's the same no matter what business. And I wanted to show you everybody for your business what it looks like. And I've added them to the reg. So Dominic and I, we worked super hard over the last few months to give you guys every bit of impactful secondary data. So when you look at the at a glance now, for example, you've got sales, but you can also see your estimate number. But I would think another huge thing beyond the estimate number is your success ratio. This is the percentage of the number of estimates that you're currently doing that are turning into booked jobs. So you can see that. I mean, you got to hit your estimate number, but if you're you're booking 50% of the estimates you do, well, you'd have to do half the number of estimates to hit your goal if instead of you're booking 25%. So if your success rate's double, you got to do half the number of estimates. It's a secondary data number. The other thing that we've now split that you'll be able to see is your previous customer bookings and your new customer bookings. You can also see your previous customer retention. So thinking about secondary data, just using people that have, again, higher previous customer retention currently, well, there's less opportunity probably in that. So if you're going to go try and go from booked at 30 grand right now to 50 grand, how much of your current 30 grand is made up of new customers and previous customers is going to have an impact, but also how much you've already got out of your previous customer list. So knowing some of that stuff. So again, you can see, like, as you use this secondary data, it's got an impact. You look at average job size is another one. So for you, like, how big is your average job? And then when you think about all of this engine moving together, you can make some really good actionable plans. So if you can take what's your current average job size and what's your current success ratio for estimates, you can predict exactly how many new estimates you would have to do to hit your new customer goal. Now, if you also know what your year-end goal is and what you're booked at in previous customers, the difference between that is the new customers that you need to be able to get to be able to hit your year-end goal. And now you can use your success rate, number of estimates, and average job size to really build a plan to break that then down. And this is the same no matter what business you're in. These are the versions of this secondary data that's driving the primary data, but it's the same in any other business. I think of an e-commerce store, they're gonna, well, hey, I'll show you Shopify. I mean, Shopify does this. It's almost a very similar example, right? So I'll take 2 seconds and log in here, but this is an example. It's on a Shopify store. That's for me. But if I look in here and I go into the analytics, let's say, and we look at, it's going to pull up the first quarter. So I'll move this around here. But you can see it's doing this, like, what are the sales? But then underneath that, like, what's your online store conversion? How many sessions are being added to cart, reached checkout, and then converted sessions? It's looking at total number of orders. Sales by channel. When you look at your online sessions, so for this business, my other business, there's 20,000 sessions that have happened in the last quarter, but down 6% compared to the quarter previous to that. So you can work on that. What's your average order size? No different than your average job size. So you're thinking about, like, online store conversion rate, the same as success rate. When you look at average order size, it's the same as that. How many estimates are you doing? What's your web traffic and your returning clients versus, again, returning customer rate versus new customer? It's the same. So when you think about some of these, the data points themselves aren't necessarily the same. Every industry, every business is going to have a different type of secondary data, but having a super good understanding of what that data is, and then based on that data, not just knowing your sales number, but everything that's driving it underneath that, is really going to give you the ability to make some great plans and really have some strategy. And then the trick is to put the energy in to go out and execute on that. But think about this, talk to your coach about it, and understand exactly where you're at currently right now with your secondary data and how it's driving and what your plans should be moving forward. And then you can put your year-end goal into a plan. And believe it or not, when a plan gets put together and executed, you hit the goal. So it's a cycle. Have an amazing rest of your day, everybody. We'll talk soon.